I saw a social media post recently that really hits home for a lot of mothers about being a quote unquote good mom. Whitney Fleming is the mother of 3 teenagers, a blogger, and the author of a book that made the list of Amazon hot reads. It's called Loving Hard When They're Hard to Love. And Whitney is with us via Zoom this morning. Thank you so much, Whitney. I've been catching up on some of your writing and really enjoying it because I have a teenager too. It's not the easiest thing in the world.
It's not. It really isn't. And having 3 is at one time is quite a lot.
Yeah, and girls. So would you just share a little bit from that post I mentioned about being a good mom? I thought it was just really right on point.
Sure. Basically, when your kids are young, you want to do all the things to set them up for the rest of their life. And that's what I did. I think that's what we all want to do as parents. And then all of a sudden, these tween and teen years come, and the kids that you used to be parenting have completely changed, and you have to change your parenting with it. And I was having a really hard time with one of my kids where we weren't really seeing eye to eye. And I realized that instead of trying to be a good mom, I needed to be her mom and what she needed at that exact moment. And it was a revelation for me. And while it didn't change everything overnight, it kind of reframed the way I wanted to connect with my kids.
Oh, that's really good. So you told me when we were emailing back and forth that you just successfully got all 3 teenage girls off to the prom. So what was that like?
Yes. It was bananas. We had a hairspray debacle, and then we were trying to be in 3 different places for pictures, and it was a lot of fun, but it was a lot of work, and it's something that I was kind of glad I only have to do once.
Well, what made you start writing for other people about your kids, about your family, and what do you hope people to take from it?
Well, I started writing just because people told me I was funny on Facebook and, things like that when I had my personal account. And I've always been a writer, and I've always felt like my strength is vulnerability. And it's really hard to be vulnerable when your kids start growing up because you want to protect their privacy. And it's really hard to share about some of these issues because if you feel like it reflects on you. So I felt like I could flip the narrative by sharing some of my struggles. And it's not really about my kids as much as it is about learning about myself. And I realized I had to change and grow as a person in order to be a better parent to my kids. My kids are kids, right?
Yeah.
They're supposed to make mistakes. And it was up to me to learn and grow and deal with my own issues so I could be the best parent to them.
Well, and I think flipping that narrative is probably really helpful to people to have some introspection. And like you said, every kid is different, so you have to tailor what you're doing with all of them. So tell me a little bit about what's in the book, Loving Hard, when someone's hard to love.
Yes,
yeah,
there it is. It's really, the kids are like, geez, Mom, are you saying I'm hard to love? And it's really not necessarily about, being a loving hard, that they're hard to love. It's more about learning to love through the hard parts. So you have these kids whose minds are developing and their bodies are developing and their brains are developing, and they're going through so much, and they are learning how to process this really complex and chaotic world around them. And what we need to do as parents is not take a step back necessarily. We need to learn how to love them harder and better. And that's what the book is all about. It's all these essays that I've written on Facebook and social media, and they're all compiled into one book that's just really easy to digest. And all I want to do is make parents feel less alone, that they're not the only ones struggling in this, that they have people out there who are going through the exact same things, that they get it. And it doesn't always turn out okay, but they're not alone in it.
Real quickly, because we're almost out of time, but we just showed a picture of the journal that you have for moms and daughters. Has that been working for you and your girls? The gratitude journal?
It does.
Yeah.
I'm a huge believer in gratitude, and that when you're in the hardest parts with your teen, you need to start remembering the great parts about them. Because if you only get stuck in the negative rut, that's the way your relationship's going to be. So I love journals and focusing on gratitude, because it really trains your brain to focus on the positive.
Yeah, I think you can use that anywhere in life. Whitney Fleming, it was great talking with you. Hope to talk to you again sometime.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I would love it. Thank you so much.
Her website is Whitney Fleming Writes, and you can look for those books on Amazon.